In World of Warcraft, there are a lot of weapons, armors and items that used to be available, but they are now impossible to acquire. This makes these items very prestigious to have, because they show that these players completed an often tremendous challenge back in the day, and they now have a timeless relic to show for it. Of course, some of these items lost to history were harder to get and is therefore an even more uncommon sight today. The weapon we are going to talk about in this video is so rare, chances are you have never seen it in the hands of a player and you probably never will. Khadgar may be the current wielder of Atiesh, but there was a time when us players could embark on a journey to assemble and wield the Greatstaff of the Guardian ourselves. Throughout most of Vanilla, casters didn't have a legendary weapon. This was changed in patch 1.11 with the introduction of Naxxramas. Now, players could complete a legendary questline to obtain Atiesh Greatstaff of the Guardian. This staff came in 4 different versions, one for mages, warlocks, druids and priests. Now, according to the lore, Atiesh was wielded by every guardian of Tirisfal and passed down in succession until it ended with Medivh. After his death, the staff was taken to Dalaran. Here it was sealed away in a magical prison, overseen by the Archmage Angela dos Santos. The staff was never intended to leave this prison, but when Archimonde destroyed Dalaran in Warcraft 3, not only was the prison destroyed, but the staff was shattered as well. Most of the pieces were collected by Kel'Thuzad, which is why our journey to rebuild the staff begins in his necropolis, Vanilla Naxxramas. Back then, if we went to Light's Hope Chapel, we would find none other than Archmage dos Santos, who would tell us, it is said that Kel'Thuzad seeks the legendary Atiesh, Greatstaff of the Guardian. Yes, the very staff once held by Medivh. The first task to assemble the staff was to collect the splinters of Atiesh. This was an item that dropped off the bosses in Naxxramas, and you required 40 of them to be able to combine them into the frame of Atiesh. This was in other words not the entire staff, and the tooltip of the item reads, the head and base are missing. Upon using the frame, players would be given the following quest. With the frame formed, Atiesh is nearly whole. Only the head and base of the staff are now missing. There is also a minor issue regarding the staff being a conduit for Sargeras' evil. Find someone that can assist you in locating the remaining pieces and exorcising the evil from the staff. The quest leads to Anachronos outside the Caverns of Time. However, to even be able to talk to him, players had to be at least neutral with the brood of Nosdormu. You start off as hated, the lowest reputation possible, and you increased it by killing bosses in both Ahn'Qiraj instances, killing trash within the Temple of Ahn'Qiraj, and completing quests related to the dungeons. After reaching neutral with the faction, players could talk to Anachronos. When presented with the frame of Atiesh, he says, "The Archmages have died. Do not mourn their passing. All such things are fated, just as you holding the Staff of the Guardian was fated." He then goes on to offer the quest Atiesh the Befouled Greatstaff. You question why you are still alive. After all, you have in your possession an item of great evil. The answer is not clear. I only do as I must. Kel'Thuzad sits atop his throne in Naxxramas, plotting. He seeks that which you hold, and holds that which you seek. As for the base of the staff, the dwarf Bran Bronzebeard held it when he entered Ahn'Qiraj. He has left Ahn'Qiraj, but the base of Atiesh remains. Should you succeed in recovering the pieces, return them to me. The player now had to acquire these 2 items. The staff head could be looted from Kel'Thuzad, and the base that Bran Bronzebeard left in Ahn'Qiraj could be looted from Cthulhu. When Anachronos is presented with all the pieces of the weapon, he lets us know that the staff in its current form is too dangerous to be in the hands of a mortal. There is a being within it, a being not of this world. The players were then given a quest to exorcise this being from the staff. This final task will be the most difficult of all. You have faced and defeated both an old god and the Lich King's general, but now you must face the hand of Sargeras. Take the staff to Stratholme. It is there that you will find a piece of consecrated earth, ground where the greatest knights of Lordaeron were murdered. Place the befouled staff upon the holy ground and prepare for an entity of immense power to break from within. Defeat the demonic being that controls the staff and return to me. The player now had to venture into Stratholme with a well-geared group, because the demon that would be summoned, Atiesh, Hand of Sargeras, was extremely difficult. The boss fought with 2 weapons, and if he was disarmed, he would actually drop one of them on the ground. This weapon was actually a legendary sword called Andonis's Reaper of Souls. It was extremely powerful as it increased the attack power by 600, and it could be picked up by one member of the party and used against Atiesh. However, the tooltip of the weapon reads, "This blade is dimensional, it appears to be fading from this plane of existence." The one who picked this incredible weapon up could only use it for a few minutes, and then it would vanish again. It was a weapon of tremendous powers that only a few players ever got to wield, and only for a short time. In a way, this is also a weapon lost to history, and one that many players don't even know existed. When the demon is defeated, all that remained for the player was to return to Anachronos. There, at the entrance of the Caverns of Time, they were given the legendary weapon in all its glory, Atiesh, Greatstaff of the Guardian. The color of the ribbon on the staff was different depending on your class. It was red for mages, white for priests, green for druids, and blue for warlocks. Aside from fantastic stats, the Greatstaff of the Guardian also provided a powerful aura, which increased the critical strike of all party members within 30 yards. Because of this, it actually stayed competitive all the way up until the early parts of Burning Crusade's endgame. Having the staff equipped will also create a visual effect where ravens appear above your head for a short time. The staff also had an on-use effect which would create a portal to Karazhan for the entire group, which is a bit odd because Karazhan wouldn't be open until the next expansion. And speaking of Karazhan, wielding the staff would actually trigger a special event in this raid. In the lore, the boss, Shade of Aran, is the ghost of Medivh's father, and if you enter his room with the staff equipped, he will say the following.
"Where did you get that? Did he send you?"
Atiesh, Greatstaff of the Guardian, could be acquired in late vanilla and throughout the entire Burning Crusade. However, with the release of Wrath of the Lich King, Naxxramas was moved to Northrend, the splinters of Atiesh were removed from the loot tables, and with them, the chances of starting this legendary questline were lost forever. However, players that managed to reach the quest Atiesh the Befouled Greatstaff and acquire the staff head of Atiesh from Kel'Thuzad before Naxxramas moved can still finish the questline. Now, I doubt there is anyone out there that this applies to, so Atiesh really is a weapon lost to history. In Warlords of Draenor, we saw Khadgar wield the staff for the first time. But while he is the one with the staff in his possession according to the lore, I think we can all agree that the real owners are the players that actually fought in the original Naxxramas and assembled it back before it was removed. Atiesh, the Greatstaff of the Guardian, is truly a weapon that has been lost to time. Alright, I hope you have enjoyed this history lesson of one of the most iconic weapons in World of Warcraft. If you did, please rate the video thumbs up and go ahead and leave any thoughts, comments or suggestions down below. If you want to see more of Warcraft from a different perspective, feel free to subscribe to the channel and more videos will be coming as soon as possible. As always, an extra thank you to all my amazing supporters on Patreon. You're helping me out much more than you think. And with this I am going to end the video, but I will be back with more stuff very soon. Until then everyone, take care.